The MX-1 Kalakian, codenamed Water Buffalo, was a joint project between the Philippine Army's Light Armor Brigade, later called the Light Armor Division, and the Steelcraft Industries. This armored vehicle was first developed in the early 2000s and was very similar to the Philippine Army's JK and Simba armored personnel carrier. The prototype vehicle had a one-man turret and a rear gunner station when it was first presented to the Light Armor Brigade in December of the 2000. The vehicle was built with locally available materials, gearboxes, and other commercial vehicle components, all with the goal of lowering unit costs. The vehicle featured the same thickness armored hull as the Simba with 12mm. The turret was based on the Cadillac gauge 1-meter turret, which was also used in the V150 armored cars. Floro International Corporation developed a modified version of this turret in the Philippines. As a fire support vehicle, the MX-1 required a unique 3-weapons turret system and a rear cupola, which Steelcraft created specifically for the MX-1. A 50 caliber machine gun, a 7.62mm multifunctional machine gun, and a 40mm AGL or automatic grenade launcher for added punch would make up the 3-weapon turret system. For rear coverage, another 7.62mm multi-purpose machine gun is housed in the rear cupola. This provides the MX-1 4 weapons to use against varied opponents, allowing it to be more versatile in combat. It was reported that 20 vehicles were acquired for evaluation, although it was unclear whether these vehicles were ever used. The Philippine government was believed to have spent 8 million pesos on the prototype vehicle. Now, what went wrong in this program? According to a Philippine Army reservist, what went wrong in this program was first and simple: its scalability of economics. Steelcraft, the developer, stated that they could deliver one for 8 million pesos, but all of the parts would have to be imported, up to and including the vehicle steel. As a result, pricing variations may have an impact on the entire project. Steelcraft, on the other hand, had no assembly factory. That is, each car would have to be hand-assembled. And with that, Steelcraft estimated that setting up a production line to produce 20 automobiles in a year would cost almost 15 million pesos. So suddenly, the price per vehicle was going to be 18 million. 8 million for the vehicle plus 10 million for the factory. Even constructing a facility to assemble 100 vehicles would even be more expensive. Next would be its performance. The performance of the MX-1, especially off-road, was subpar at best. Its armor, although thicker than the Simba's, was made of lower grade steel. Hence, its armor performance was thus lower. With that, its mission. The MX-1 ended up being a vehicle without a home. By the time the prototype had rolled off, the AFP had over 250 wheeled infantry fighting vehicles, consisting of the V150s, the V300s, and the Simbas, serving in the cavalry and in the Marines. With that, armored companies had over 120 more M113s and armored infantry fighting vehicles. Now, what finally killed this program is the availability of alternatives. This is what finally doomed it. By 2001, the US was delivering hundreds of armored and unarmored Humvees to the armed forces of the Philippines. These had better performance and were even cheaper. For the price of a single MX-1 plus the cost of the factory, the AFP could buy 3 times the number of armored Hummers, plus 1 to 2 times the number of unarmored Hummers. The program for the MX-1 Kalakian was set high. However, it did not live up to its hype.